Plastic surgery is often sold as a shortcut to beauty, but for far too many people, it becomes a painful turning point, a door that opens straight into tragedy. And fame offers no protection. Even celebrities have had their lives and faces permanently altered by procedures meant to fix their looks. Everyone walks in believing they'll emerge as a flawless version of themselves. But reality doesn't always play along. The stories you're about to hear expose the hidden side of famous black icons who were left drowning in regret after cosmetic surgery. These are 20 black celebrities who sacrificed their natural beauty in the relentless pursuit of perfection, never imagining that procedures they believed were safe would carry consequences so devastating there would be no chance to turn back. Donda West. A name that would one day be written into law, after a tragedy no one saw coming. Donda West was far more than Kanye West's mother. She was a brilliant university professor, a respected academic, and the steady force who guided her son's career behind the scenes. Her life was built on achievement, sacrifice, and quiet strength. But those very sacrifices would lead to a heartbreaking end. In 2007, at 58 years old, Donda made a deeply personal decision. After gaining weight, she felt insecure about her body, her stomach, her breasts. She wanted cosmetic surgery to regain confidence, not just for herself, but to feel radiant while standing proudly beside her son as his music career soared. On November 9, 2007, Donda walked into Dr. Jan Adams' clinic in Brentwood, Los Angeles. It was a risky choice. 3 procedures in one day: abdominal liposuction, a breast reduction, and additional liposuction, under general anesthesia for more than 5.5 hours. A decision filled with hope, pressure, and trust. When the surgery ended, doctors urged her to stay overnight for monitoring. But Donda insisted on going home. Her nephew was a nurse, she said. He could take care of her. Reluctantly, the doctor agreed. Donda left the clinic, unaware that her body was already beginning to fail. Late in the night of November 10th, while the house slept, she began to struggle for breath. Panic set in. She tried to get out of bed, tried to call for help, but her strength gave out. She collapsed face first onto the floor, making it even harder to breathe. She was rushed to Centinela Freeman Hospital at 2 a.m. 2 hours later, at 4 a.m., Donda West was pronounced dead. The cause? Heart failure brought on by pre-existing coronary artery disease, compounded by a lung infection, pain medications, and restricted breathing from tight surgical bandaging. Her death devastated her family, but it also shook an entire industry. In 2009, California passed the Donda West law, requiring all cosmetic surgery patients to undergo a physical examination beforehand. Her loss forced change, paid for with a life. And the impact didn't stop there. Donda's death deeply altered Kanye West, his mental health, his art, his entire trajectory. He was never the same again. One decision meant to restore confidence didn't just cost Donda West her life. It left permanent scars on the people who loved her most, and changed music, law, and culture forever. Stella Obasanjo, Nigeria's First Lady, admired, respected, and ultimately lost far from home. Stella Obasanjo was known across Nigeria for her grace, compassion, and tireless charity work. She carried herself with quiet confidence, always composed beneath the relentless glare of public life. A devoted mother, a loyal wife, and a powerful national symbol, she represented dignity at the highest level of leadership. But behind the polished image was a woman under immense pressure to look flawless. On October 21, 2005, just weeks before her 60th birthday, Stella traveled alone to Spain for cosmetic surgery. At 59, she sought abdominal liposuction and minor enhancements, procedures meant to help her feel confident as she prepared to enter a new decade of life. Living constantly in the spotlight, the expectations placed on her appearance were crushing. She checked into the molding clinic in Puerto Banús, Marbella, where Dr. Antonio Maya Molina performed the procedure under local anesthesia. At first, everything appeared normal. But inside the operating room, a catastrophic mistake had already been made. Instead of staying beneath the skin, the doctor inserted the cannula into her abdominal cavity, puncturing her colon and tearing her liver. The damage was severe, yet it was minimized. Stella was sent back to her hotel to rest. Hours later, her condition deteriorated rapidly. She began to feel intense pain and growing distress, repeatedly attempting to contact the doctor, calls that went unanswered. By the early hours of October 23, 2005, her body was shutting down. Septic shock had set in. She was rushed to USP Marbella Hospital, but time had run out. At 2:35 a.m., Stella Obasanjo was declared brain dead. The cause: multiple organ failure and sepsis. The news sent shockwaves through Nigeria. Thousands gathered in Abuja for her state funeral, mourning a woman many believed had given her life in service to her country. The nation grieved in sorrow and anger. Nigerians wept not only for Stella Obasanjo, but in outrage over the negligence that took her life. Yet justice felt painfully light. In 2009, Dr. Antonio Maya Molina received a 1-year suspended sentence for negligent homicide, a 3-year ban from practicing medicine, and was ordered to pay Stella's son $120,000. Her death, however, left a far greater legacy. The tragedy sparked global scrutiny of medical tourism and exposed dangerous gaps in cosmetic surgery oversight. In the end, the death of a First Lady forced the world to confront a silent, deadly truth. When beauty standards collide with negligence, even the most powerful are not protected. Mary Wells, the Motown queen who chased her youth with one final transformation and paid the ultimate price. At just 49, Mary Wells was already a legend. The golden voice behind the 1964 smash hit, My Guy. She was one of Motown's brightest stars, radiant beauty, effortless charm, and a sweet, unforgettable sound that captured millions of hearts around the world. To the public, Mary Wells seemed untouchable. But behind the spotlight, her life was far more fragile. By the 1980s, her career had slowed. Financial struggles mounted. A painful divorce left deep emotional scars. And as the years passed, Mary became increasingly consumed by her appearance, especially the wide, hereditary nose she believed stood between her and a comeback. After sudden weight loss and years of hardship, her confidence was gone. She longed to reclaim the sultry glow of the 1960s, to step back on stage and feel the love of audiences once more. So in her early 40s, at a Los Angeles clinic, Mary made a decision she believed would change everything for the better: a simple rhinoplasty. Instead, it became a nightmare. Just 1 week after receiving a nasal implant, her body reacted violently. A severe allergic response triggered swelling and infection that spread rapidly to her larynx. Breathing became difficult. Her throat swelled shut. Soon, Mary Wells, the woman whose voice defined an era, could no longer speak. Doctors tried everything: antibiotics, corrective surgery, but nothing worked. Years of heavy smoking only made the damage worse, destroying what little remained of her vocal cords. The infection lingered, turning deadly. In 1991, Mary was diagnosed with laryngeal cancer. The disease didn't just steal her health, it silenced the very voice that made her immortal. On August 26, 1992, Mary Wells died at Kenneth Norris Hospital in Los Angeles. She was only 49 years old. Her death sent shockwaves through the music industry, raising urgent warnings about the hidden dangers of cosmetic surgery, especially for aging performers desperate to stay relevant. Awareness campaigns followed, but they came too late for Mary. It wasn't until 2015, more than 2 decades after her death, that Mary Wells was finally inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A long overdue honor she never lived to see. A voice that once defined love, youth, and joy, gone forever, in the cruel pursuit of turning back time. Wanda Young, the unforgettable voice behind Please Mr. Postman. With the legendary Marvels, she helped create one of the most iconic hits of the 1960s. The world fell in love with her sweet, magnetic voice, a sound that defined an era and captured hearts across generations. But when the group dissolved and the spotlight faded, Wanda's life took a quiet, painful turn. Behind the scenes, she was fighting a battle no one saw. By the late 1990s, in her 50s and 60s, years of aging and decades of smoking began to take their toll. Breathing became a daily struggle, a terrifying reality for a woman whose life depended on her voice. What troubled her most, however, was something deeply personal. For years, Wanda had been haunted by her reflection, especially her large, crooked nose, a feature she believed stood between her and a return to the stage. Hoping to restore both her confidence and her ability to breathe, she made a life-altering decision: rhinoplasty. What was supposed to be a simple procedure became a lasting tragedy. Poor postoperative care led to severe internal scarring and chronic sinus infections. Her nasal passages narrowed instead of healing, making every breath even more difficult. Wanda lived in constant discomfort, often gasping for air and coughing up blood. The surgery didn't save her career, it ended it. For nearly 20 years, she endured these complications in silence, her dream of performing again slowly slipping away. Then came the pandemic. When COVID-19 struck, her already fragile lungs couldn't withstand the damage. After a 6-month battle with the virus, Wanda Young passed away on February 15, 2021, in a hospital in Inkster, Michigan. She was 78 years old. Chronic respiratory damage from her surgery contributed to acute respiratory failure, and a legend quietly slipped away, carrying a lifetime of music, loss, and unspoken regret. Sarah Dash, the voice behind Lady Marmalade. A legend gone in a heartbeat. Sarah Dash, the powerhouse vocalist of LaBelle who helped define the sultry sound of the 1974 anthem Lady Marmalade, was more than a singer, she was pure charisma. The stage wasn't just where she performed, it was where she lived. Even at 76, Sarah felt the same brutal pressure so many women face in the unforgiving entertainment industry: the demand to stay youthful, sexy, and relevant. Determined to preserve the image the world adored, she turned to cosmetic surgery. In September 2020, Sarah underwent a Brazilian butt lift with fat transfer and liposuction at a clinic in Philadelphia. The goal was simple: trim her waist, enhance her curves, and step boldly into a new chapter as she prepared for another album. The procedure was done under local anesthesia. Fat was taken from her abdomen and injected into her buttocks. She went home believing everything had gone smoothly. But just 2 days later, everything changed. Sarah suddenly struggled to breathe, then collapsed. Rushed to the hospital, doctors delivered devastating news: a pulmonary fat embolism. Fat from the procedure had entered her bloodstream and traveled to her lungs. Despite desperate efforts to save her, Sarah Dash passed away on November 5, 2021. Her shocking death ignited a fierce national debate over the safety of fat transfer Brazilian butt lifts, especially for older patients, and ultimately pushed the American Society of Plastic Surgeons to issue stronger warnings about the serious risks for seniors. A voice that once empowered millions was silenced, leaving behind a haunting question: how far should anyone be pushed to chase youth in an industry that never forgives age? Marlena Shaw, one of the greatest jazz vocalists of all time, was a woman who gave her entire life to music. Best known for her 1969 classic, California Soul, she mesmerized generations with her beauty, her elegance, and a voice that felt both powerful and intimate. For decades, fans couldn't get enough of her. But as she entered her 70s, Marlena faced the harsh reality that time spares no one, not even legends. Determined to remain stage-ready and hold on to the star power she had always known, she turned to cosmetic procedures in hopes of refreshing her appearance. Between roughly 2015 and 2020, she underwent multiple facelifts and Botox injections, trying to tighten sagging skin and smooth away the wrinkles of age. At first, everything seemed fine. But slowly, the cost became impossible to ignore. Too much Botox began to freeze her facial muscles, robbing her of the natural expressions that once defined her performances. Her skin was pulled unnaturally tight, causing constant headaches and making it difficult for her to sing freely, the very thing she lived for. Instead of keeping her at the top of her game, the procedures did the exact opposite. One by one, she started canceling shows. Eventually, Marlena Shaw disappeared from the stage altogether. The dramatic changes to her face left her feeling insecure, isolated, and deeply alone. Over time, that loneliness turned into severe depression. On January 19, 2024, at the age of 81, Marlena Shaw passed away after years of quiet suffering. Her death marked a profound loss for the jazz world and served as a sobering reminder of the hidden emotional and physical dangers behind cosmetic surgery, especially when driven by pressure, fear of aging, and the weight of fame. Her voice may be gone, but her legacy will forever echo through jazz history. Dani Li, a name that once meant energy, youth, and pure pop fire, now forever tied to a devastating tragedy. Dani Li, the Brazilian pop sensation who exploded onto the scene with her 2010 hit Oda Amazonia, captivated fans with her high-octane vocals and irresistible, youthful charisma. Her entire career was built on that vibrant, passionate image, the kind that lights up a stage and leaves a crowd wanting more. But behind the spotlight, Dani faced the same brutal reality that crushes so many artists, an industry obsessed with image, where looking perfect can feel like a matter of survival. After months of reflection, on January 19, 2024, at just 42 years old, Dani made a decision she believed would help her reclaim her post-baby body and step back into the spotlight with the confidence she once had. She saw it as routine, just another cosmetic procedure. Liposuction on her abdomen and back, combined with a breast reduction, performed at a clinic in Pinhais. Simple. Or so she thought. At first, everything seemed normal. No warning signs. No alarms. But just hours later, the unthinkable happened. During surgery, her body suddenly began to shut down. Her breathing failed. Her blood pressure collapsed. In less than 3 minutes, her heart stopped. Doctors fought desperately to revive her, but there was nothing they could do. Dani Li died right there on the operating table, the result of a fat embolism and acute respiratory failure. Her sudden, horrifying death sent shockwaves across Brazil. What was meant to be a routine cosmetic procedure became a chilling reminder of the hidden dangers behind cut-price clinics and high-risk surgeries. Dani Li's passing didn't just break hearts. It sparked nationwide outrage, government investigations, and urgent calls to tighten safety regulations across the cosmetic surgery industry. A voice that once made crowds dance was silenced in an instant, and her story now stands as a painful warning no one can afford to ignore. Sanchoka, obsessed with a giant butt and the price she paid. Sanchoka was once the definition of Instagram fame. A well-known Tanzanian model and socialite, she skyrocketed to popularity thanks to her dramatic curves, especially her oversized butt and flawless hourglass figure. Brand deals poured in, followers multiplied, and she became a fashion icon across East Africa. But behind the glossy photos and viral fame was a dangerous obsession with beauty at any cost. Between 2018 and 2022, Sanchoka underwent repeated filler injections and butt implant procedures at clinics in Tanzania and Kenya, all to maintain the image her career demanded. In her mind, a bigger butt meant more attention, more sponsors, and more success. She believed the price was just temporary pain, a few uncomfortable days for long-term fame. She was wrong. Over time, the fillers began to build up inside her body, forming hard lumps and causing chronic infections in her hips and buttocks. The pain became relentless. Walking was agony. Sitting offered no relief. Even lying down didn't help. Multiple hospital visits followed, with surgeries to remove the damaged tissue, but instead of healing, her condition worsened. Deep scars were left behind, permanently deforming her body and shattering her confidence. In 2023, Sanchoka finally broke her silence. She took to social media, not to show off her body, but to share her regret. Her message was raw, emotional, and urgent, a warning to others, especially young women in East Africa, where society often celebrates perfect bodies while ignoring the risks to health. Her words weren't just an apology to herself, they were a wake-up call. Today, Sanchoka is still online, but her content has changed. The seductive photos are fewer. In their place are conversations about health, self-worth, and learning to love the body you were born with. Her story stands as a powerful reminder. Chasing beauty can cost far more than anyone expects. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams. Cosmetic surgery, memory loss, and a devastating decline no one saw coming. Wendy Williams, the iconic, fearless host of The Wendy Williams Show, built her empire by saying what everyone else was afraid to say. On air, She was bold, unfiltered, and untouchable. But behind the bright studio lights, Wendy was quietly fighting battles the audience never knew existed. Struggling with addiction, health issues, and deep insecurities about her body, Wendy became consumed by the pursuit of physical perfection. In 1994, already a major radio star, she underwent full-body liposuction and a tummy tuck, hoping to appear sexier and more marketable. The outcome was disappointing. Her skin remained loose, and within a week she developed a mild infection. She was fortunate. It was caught early, and she recovered. For most people, that would have been a warning. For Wendy, it wasn't. Terrified of losing relevance and obsessed with her image, she continued chasing cosmetic fixes. In 2020, she turned to jawline Botox to sharpen her appearance. Instead, it left her face stiff and expressionless, deepening her insecurities rather than easing them. One procedure led to another, pulling her into a vicious cycle of painkillers, exhaustion, and rapidly declining health. By 2022, the damage was impossible to hide. The Wendy Williams show was canceled, with producers quietly admitting she was no longer considered marketable. Then came another crushing blow. In 2024, Wendy was diagnosed with early-onset dementia. Today, she lives under financial guardianship as her health continues to deteriorate. Only now are people beginning to question whether years of relentless cosmetic procedures contributed to lymphedema and severe neurological complications. Once a powerhouse who dominated daytime television, Wendy Williams is now a haunting reminder of how fame, pressure, and the pursuit of perfection can slowly erase even the strongest stars. Michael Jackson, the king of pop. A global icon whose name will forever echo through music history. With achievements no artist has ever matched, especially the legendary Thriller, Michael Jackson seemed untouchable. His electrifying performances, gravity-defying dance moves, and unmatched charisma made him immortal in the eyes of the world. But behind the spotlight lived a man in constant pain. Crushed by relentless scrutiny over his appearance, pressure rooted in his father's harsh criticism and the entertainment industry's unforgiving standards, Michael became obsessed with perfection. That obsession slowly pulled him into a tragic cycle of cosmetic surgery. It began in 1979, when he was still young, after a dance injury led to his first nose job. What followed was a series of non-stop alterations, repeated rhinoplasties, eyelid surgery, cheek and chin implants, and skin lightening treatments, all driven by the desperate need to look perfect. Over time, the damage became irreversible. His nose collapsed from repeated procedures, forcing him to rely on breathing aids. The scars worsened, but the surgeries didn't stop. To cope with the pain and exhaustion, Michael became dependent on powerful medications. First Demerol for pain, then Propofol just to sleep. It was a ticking time bomb. On June 25, 2009, while preparing for his highly anticipated This Is It comeback tour, Michael received what he believed was his routine at-home Propofol injection. He never woke up. His body went into acute respiratory failure caused by a lethal combination of Propofol and sedatives. The world was stunned. Just days before his return to the stage, the king of pop was gone. His death wasn't just the loss of a music legend. It was a haunting warning about the hidden dangers of cosmetic obsession and prescription drug abuse. Toya Jackson, a life shattered by cosmetic surgery. Toya Jackson, a singer and model in the 1980s, was an icon in her own right, and the older sister of Michael Jackson. After breaking free from her father's control and an abusive marriage, she was left battling deep insecurities about her appearance, especially her wide nose and prominent cheekbones. In 1985, Toya underwent rhinoplasty to slim the nose she had long been ashamed of. But one surgery led to another. Each revision made her nose thinner, until it permanently collapsed and lost sensation. Despite visible complications, she continued, adding cheek implants and Botox that gradually distorted her face. By the late 1990s, Toya barely recognized the woman staring back at her in the mirror. The surgeries didn't just alter her appearance, they took a devastating toll on her mental health. She fell into severe depression, developed chronic anxiety, and relied on medication to cope. Unable to endure public scrutiny, she largely disappeared from television. In a rare 2011 interview with Oprah, one of her few major appearances after the surgeries, Toya admitted, with painful honesty, that chasing artificial beauty only brought her deeper suffering. Vivica Fox, once a queen of 90s Hollywood, lighting up the screen in Independence Day and Kill Bill. She had the looks, the talent, and the moment, until time caught up. Like so many women in the industry, turning 50 triggered a quiet panic. Every new wrinkle felt like a threat. Every younger actress felt like competition. Desperate to hold on to youth, Vivica turned to cosmetic surgery, hoping it would protect her career. But from 2015 to 2020, the procedures never stopped. Thread lifts, bows, cheek fillers, breast implants, belly lipo. Each tweak promised improvement. Each one delivered the opposite. Her face grew unnaturally tight. Her eyes were pulled. Her smile tilted. Expressions froze. Botox robbed her of the ability to raise her brows or smile naturally. The spark that once made her magnetic slowly disappeared. The tragedy wasn't just how she looked, it was what she lost. Directors stopped calling. She could no longer show real emotion on screen. The very thing that made her special had been erased. In 2021, during an emotional appearance on The Doctors, Vivica finally admitted the truth. She'd gone too far. In trying to stay young, she'd sacrificed her natural beauty and nearly her career. All that was left was regret. NeNe Leakes, once celebrated as the bold, unapologetic face of Black beauty, she became a symbol of confidence when she burst onto The Real Housewives of Atlanta in 2008. With her larger-than-life personality and proud, curvy Black woman image, NeNe owned the screen, and the spotlight loved her back. But that same spotlight soon turned harsh. As her fame peaked, so did the criticism. Endless comments about her looks chipped away at the confidence she once wore so effortlessly. The wide nose, the body people said was too Black. Slowly, the pressure to change began to win. In 2010, NeNe went under the knife for a nose job, one that many felt left her looking unnaturally narrow and painfully artificial. It didn't stop there. In 2016, she underwent liposuction and a Brazilian butt lift. The results shocked fans. Her body looked exaggerated, unbalanced, almost cartoonish. Even worse, complications followed. A severe infection landed her in the hospital for an entire month. Yet still, she pushed forward. By 2019, she had breast implants. That's when the backlash exploded. Many fans, especially within the Black community, accused her of erasing her Black features, of trying to look white. In 2020, NeNe finally confessed the truth. She wasn't chasing perfection, she was running from fear. Fear of being called ugly. Fear she never imagined would turn into public judgment. After her husband's death in 2021, NeNe all but disappeared from television. And when she looked in the mirror, the fierce confidence that once defined her wasn't gone, but it felt heartbreakingly far away. Countess Vaughn, the Moesha star whose smile lit up a generation, now living with scars that will never fade. Countess Vaughn was once a beloved face on hit shows like Moesha and The Parkers. America watched her grow up on screen. But after becoming a mother, the spotlight turned cruel. Relentless fat-shaming chipped away at her confidence, pushing her into a decision she believed would help her reclaim her body and her career. In 2013, Countess underwent liposuction and a tummy tuck, hoping to feel confident on camera again. But just 3 days later, everything went wrong. Her abdomen became violently infected. The skin turned black, necrotic, and began oozing pus. What was meant to be a fresh start turned into a living nightmare. Doctors were forced to cut away massive sections of dead skin, leaving behind severe, raised scars, damage no surgery could undo. Since then, Countess has lived with chronic pain and the emotional trauma of those horrifying scars. Short dresses? Gone forever. Confidence? Shattered. In 2016, on Hollywood Divas, she broke down in tears as she revealed the scars to the world for the first time, opening up about the non-stop physical pain and the devastating truth that her dream of a perfect body had turned into a lifelong hell. A haunting reminder of the brutal cost of Hollywood pressure, and a warning that some scars go far deeper than skin. Michelle. Surgery didn't just change her body, it nearly ended her life. At the peak of 2010's R&B, Michelle wasn't known only for her raw talent and powerhouse vocals, but for her extreme hourglass figure that had everyone talking. What the public didn't see was the nightmare hiding behind that image. In 2012, chasing fast results without medical supervision, she made a decision that would almost kill her. For nearly 2 years, between 2012 and 2014, Michelle received illegal silicone injections in private homes across Memphis and Atlanta, black market procedures with no doctors, no safety, and no protection. The silicone didn't stay where it was injected. It spread through her body, pooling in her thighs and hips, destroying tissue, causing severe necrosis, non-stop fevers, and excruciating pain. At her worst, she was fighting sepsis, a deadly infection that very nearly took her life. To survive, Michelle endured 4 major surgeries in just 2 years, all to remove as much of the poison as doctors could. She lived, but the damage was permanent. Her body was left deformed, and even today, some of the silicone remains trapped inside her forever. Out of that pain came purpose. Michelle became one of the loudest voices warning women about the dangers of black market injections. She even released the song Silicone, not for fame, but as a raw confession, a warning, and a way to release the pain she still carries. Her story isn't about beauty. It's about survival, and the price of risking everything to fit an image. Once the undisputed queen of rap, she became one of hip-hop's most haunting cautionary tales. In the 1990s, Lil Kim ruled music and fashion with fearless confidence. But in 1998, everything changed when her abusive ex-boyfriend broke her nose, an act of violence that left scars far deeper than anyone could see. In 1999, she turned to surgery, hoping to erase the pain and reclaim control. What began as a minor nose job spiraled into obsession: more than 10 nose surgeries, cheek implants, eyelid procedures, and aggressive skin lightening treatments. She chased an impossible image of perfection, never imagining the cost. Years later, the damage became irreversible. Her nose collapsed so badly she had to tape it. Her skin turned ghost white from relentless creams and laser treatments. In 2009, during Dancing with the Stars, Lil Kim made a heartbreaking confession. She no longer recognized herself. The woman staring back in the mirror was no longer Lil Kim. Labeled by many as the biggest cosmetic surgery tragedy in hip-hop history, she slipped into deep depression and gradually disappeared from the public eye. Since 2015, sightings of her have been rare, leaving behind a legend forever changed by pain, pressure, and a desperate search for identity. Princess Shingle. A name once celebrated, now tied to the tragedy of a 46-centimeter waist. The Gambian-Ghanaian actress became famous for one shocking claim: Africa's smallest waist. But behind that extreme beauty was a devastating price. In 2017, she flew to Colombia, chasing a dream body no human was meant to have. Surgeons removed 4 of her lower ribs to sculpt that tiny waist. Instead of perfection, the procedure destroyed her internal organs and triggered acute kidney failure. A year later, in Turkey, she went even further, undergoing a Brazilian butt lift. For a moment, the curves, the fame, the attention felt worth it. But the nightmare was only beginning. The BBL became infected. She collapsed again and again, losing consciousness multiple times. Between 2019 and 2020, she was rushed to the hospital 3 times. Doctors diagnosed her with chronic kidney disease and heart complications. Today, she survives on regular dialysis. Her health is shattered. Her savings are gone. In 2021, Princess Shingle broke down on Instagram, crying and begging others not to follow her path. She admitted she deeply regrets the reckless decisions she made for beauty and fame. Once admired for her glamorous image, she now lives with a haunting question: how much longer can her body survive the illusion of perfect beauty? Tonto Dikeh, the undisputed queen of Nollywood, actress, singer, superstar. But behind the glamour, Tonto's story takes a dark and painful turn. After giving birth in 2016, she endured relentless body shaming from her ex-husband. The criticism cut deep. Determined to get her sexy back, Tonto made a life-changing decision. In 2017, she began a drastic body transformation, liposuction followed by a Brazilian butt lift. The cost wasn't money. It was unimaginable pain. Severe infections left her hospitalized for 2 long months, fighting complications that nearly broke her body. Still, she didn't stop. In 2018, she underwent breast implant surgery. The results were disastrous, uneven, distorted, and requiring 3 corrective surgeries. Today, Tonto lives with chronic pain in both her chest and buttocks, a brutal reality many cosmetic surgery patients never see. Every single day is a battle. By 2022, the scars, physical and emotional, could no longer be hidden. In a heartbreaking moment on live television, Tonto broke down in tears and confessed that she had sold her soul for beauty. Now, she has turned her pain into purpose. Tonto Dikeh has become a fierce voice against cosmetic surgery abuse in Nigeria, and her own story stands as the most terrifying warning of all. Hazel E was once the very definition of glamour. Rising to fame on Love and Hip Hop, Hollywood, she dazzled fans with beauty, confidence, and star power. But one decision, meant to enhance her image, nearly destroyed her face forever. In June 2018, Hazel flew to Turkey for a full mommy makeover, a nose job, breast lift, and liposuction, all at a bargain price. What was supposed to be a fresh start quickly turned into a living nightmare. Just 4 days after surgery, her nose became severely infected. It turned black, filled with pus, and began to rot. Doctors feared total facial necrosis. Hazel was blindsided. The clinic refused all responsibility as her condition spiraled out of control. Terrified, she rushed back to the United States for emergency treatment. What followed were 3 agonizing months in the hospital, battling open wounds, permanent scars, and trauma she says she will never forget. But instead of hiding in shame, Hazel chose to warn the world. Even while hospitalized, she bravely posted graphic photos of her decaying nose on Instagram, pleading with fans not to repeat her mistake. Her message was raw and unforgettable. I will never do cheap surgery again. Lil Cease wasn't always defined by pain. As a core member of Junior Mafia and one of the Notorious B.I.G.'s closest friends, he once stood at the peak of hip-hop fame. But after Biggie's tragic death in 1997, Lil Cease quietly spiraled into a dark place, haunted by grief, depression, and deep insecurity about his appearance, especially his round face. By around 2020, those insecurities consumed him. Desperate for change and convinced he had nothing left to lose, he made a reckless decision, illegally injecting liquid silicone into his cheeks and chin, hoping to sculpt a sharper, more perfect look. What he dreamed would transform his life instead destroyed it. The silicone didn't stay where it was injected. It migrated, hardened, and spread throughout his face, forming painful lumps that caused constant swelling, infections, and severe complications. Multiple surgeries followed, but the damage was irreversible. The suffering went beyond his appearance. His voice was permanently affected, leaving him physically and emotionally broken. With a disfigured face and a distorted voice, Lil Cease withdrew from the public eye, overwhelmed by regret. In one heartbreaking admission, he confessed, "I ruined my face because I felt ugly." Since then, he has rarely been seen, living with the heavy shadow of a decision he can never undo. Behind the fame often lie hidden battles, dangerous choices, and consequences that last forever. Plastic surgery may promise perfection, but at what cost? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more untold stories and shocking truths behind celebrity fame.